Hi, everybody. All right. So I'm switching computers. So some of you may have seen I did a quick test run. So hopefully you can hear me. All right, loud and clear. Excellent. Thank you, Ruth. So I did a quick test run with, and I left it up just because if you're a subscriber and then you get a notification, and then if I hide it, you wouldn't be able to see it. So it's just me saying hi. So few folks have already, well, there's one comment, and I think there's a few folks that liked it. So, all right. Trying to catch up on everything that's going on. We have lively chat today. So, hello to everybody. Hi, Mike G, Bill B, Ruth, Lisa. Hello, Brooke. And Sheila, welcome. So let's see. It's midweek. Apparently, there's a German word for Wednesdays that means small break or something like that. I thought that was just incredibly delightful. And I'm hello to Colette. And I hope Dre is okay. I don't see Dre. Hello to Brian Sweeney as well. And a big hello to everybody that managed to make it to one of the Zoom Saturdays that we did in March, and then we had one here in April. We're going to try to figure out something. We're going to try to figure out something maybe for kind of a practice check-in to see if we can do that monthly, something along those lines. So Brooke got to join two of those, I think. And I have volunteer tomorrow, so I can't make it. But Brooke has Begin Again, her Thursday offering, and that is there. And Brooke, you have chat, so you can post a link if you'd like. All right, so I'm kind of scattered. Well, not kind of. I'm very scattered today. But what I can say is my name is Andrew. I'm a certified mindfulness meditation coach. I am a software engineer by trade and training, and most folks will know me as the most times moderator, sometimes guest host of the Do Nothing Project. Yes, there it is. So Brooke's link for folks for Thursday offering until June. And if you come, you never know, you might get to be Ruth. So good reason to go. What do you expect from this channel? You expect 25-minute sit. We're going to have light guidance, and the theme for today is going to be burden, unburden. I'll explain in a second, and we'll have light guidance, and in the last 5 minutes we'll take away the technique, or I'll invite you if you want to, your choice. Those that ride decide. And you can do nothing for the last 5 minutes, just as a way to contrast the somethingness of a technique with the do nothing technique. So, question from Colette. There is a Ramones museum in Berlin, and I would have probably missed this, but my girlfriend spotted it while we were in Berlin, and it was a super delight. It's a sort of a bar that is also a music venue, and then a portion of the bar has become a Ramones museum. So, and if you're a big Ramones fan, Dee Dee lived in Germany growing up, and so I think that's part of the admiration for that. And you can look for Ramones Museum Berlin, and you can see some of the stuff online. Some of my favorite bands have played there as a venue, which is also a super delight. So anyway, we'll come back from my little diversion there. So Dee Dee's father, I believe, was in the Air Force but maybe it was an army base. But anyway, his father was military, was in the military and assigned to Germany. So, all right. So we are 6 minutes in. Usually, I've managed to hit my marks and get us into a meditation close to now. Although occasionally I go off script and we get 7 or 8 minutes in. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else that oh, the theme. So when I've started to realize that that I'm burdening myself with certain things, and then I don't realize that I probably can put it down. And even if I have to pick it back up, I can put it down for a little bit of time, like the duration of a meditation sit. So, just gonna have a prompt at the beginning, just to kind of. Usually, I say like, "What's check out like what's already here or what's already present." Thinking about it, is there something that's weighing on you? And I like this burden unburden notion, and playing around with the idea of noticing when you're burdened and then seeing if you can put it down for a while. So we usually can put it down for a while, right? 5 minutes sit, 10 minutes sit, or longer. We can pick it back up, totally an option. We can decide to leave it behind, totally an option. We could split it up, maybe from the burden looks like it's a big thing. Maybe we can take a piece of it and bring that with us, or we can ask for help carrying it. So I like that framing, and we'll do that as a practice. So we'll play around with that. All right. I have a striker and a bell, and we're going to introduce them to invite the bell. And let's see. Talk Timer. I love this app. Not sponsored, by the way. 25 minutes sit. Got it on here. And let's begin. All right. So, in a given day, this might be sort of the first time you've really sat still. So that can be kind of jarring. Just being supportive of that, supportive of yourself in that feeling of like, whoa, I'm moving around and sort of jostled throughout the day, and now I'm finally getting a chance to sit down. So we begin with a posture that'll help us to support the practice. Upright without being uptight, allowing the spine to be natural. If you're sitting in a chair or on a cushion or on a bench, and it's totally spiritually valid for you to be lying down, standing, or walking, I'll focus on the seated posture. And then just pause to kind of notice what's here. So is there scatteredness? Is there anything going on? And we're not trying to change anything. We're not trying to sort of scare any of our feelings away. We're just getting an idea of who's here. And then a few deliberate breaths. Slow and low is the tempo we're going for. Breathing in through the nose allows us to slow that breath down and breathe low into the belly. And then as that inhale turns around and becomes the exhale, seeing if we can extend or even accentuate it. And so if you're not resonating with the notion of unburdened and burdened, you can think about whether or not we have emotional body sensations. So feel, feel in would be emotional body sensations. And if we don't have a feel in, that could be considered a rest. So if that phrasing helps, just offering that. But the notion is sometimes you're carrying something and you don't even really realize it. So that's the mini little realization or insight that might be possible. And if we've noticed anything, just seeing if we can put that down. And again, we can pick it back up later, it's not a problem. But just seeing if we can put it down for the remainder of our sit. If you want, you could do a sort of a big inhale and a big sighing exhale. Or you can give it the big old gym class, woo. Or a favorite of mine is the Midwest oofta. It's just acknowledging, let that burden take a rest for a moment. Put that down. And just seeing if we can shift now into this unburdened state. So we think about this unburdened state as being, if we want to put it into terminology, we can say that that's feel rest. So again, it's a body sensation. And it could be, doesn't have to be, a restful or relaxation sensation. And again, the pattern can be the same. We're noticing the body, soaking our attention in, and optionally labeling the body feel. And if we noticed a sort of pleasant sensation, use that same pattern and optionally label rest. And the last thing I'll offer here is we can work with a home base. So the body is the home base I'm offering, but you could decide to use sounds or whatever is a comfortable home base for you. So I'll let you explore, check in a little bit. So maybe we can put that burden down, and we've got a lot of thoughts about that burden. So think of that as being, so mental talk would be one other way of thinking about our thoughts or framing those thoughts. So that's outside of feel space. So we can just think of that as something we can acknowledge, bringing our attention back to our body, doing it with an experimentation around super kindness. So knowing there can be some frustration, allowing ourselves to do that as many times as we need to. And then to offer that if you aren't quite feeling quite right, just the notion that you can stretch up and settle back into the posture. And if the big sigh worked earlier, doing another big sigh, and just seeing if that reset in the posture is one that gives you a little bit of a relaxation or restful sensations. And as always, you're always welcome to continue on with the practice if you feel like you got into a good groove. But this is your opportunity to unburden yourself from the technique and put that carefully on the shelf and shift over into do nothing. And with do nothing, we're letting go of any of our intentions to control our attention and just sitting. And if we let it go, some intention like counting our breaths or something like that, or labeling experience, and it picks back up again, just letting that be in the background as something the mind wants to do. So shift into do nothing. I'll invite the bell to signify that our time has ended. May our practice nourish each thing in all realms. May it benefit all beings. I think I got that right. I think that's the updated Roshi Joan version. So I'm not certain, so I'm going to check. May this practice nourish each thing in all realms and truly benefit all beings. There we go. Thank you. You're super welcome, Mike. And then really quick, the logo. So folks that don't know, Arturo Vega did the original logo. The Brandenburg Gate, which is a big fixture of Berlin, is in the center here, where there's normally the U.S. crest is usually in there. I think it's made out of arrowheads, but hopefully that was an interesting exploration for folks. The bell did startle me. I didn't realize how much I didn't realize how hard I hit it. So poor Zenny, sorry about the startling. Excellent. Thank you, Thelina. That's good to know. Let's see. So the burden unburden thing, I actually can't say burden unburdened without thinking of an unladen swallow, which is a totally strange Monty Python connection in my brain. But yeah, I think we've talked about this in the past, where there's a Jack Handy quote about having two sacks in your hands at all times, and then you're busy, so you can't help. This idea that sometimes we're holding on to stuff, or we're burdened by things we don't totally realize. So, oh yeah, thank you so much, Sheila. We really appreciate you being here. Yeah, and thanks to the folks who've already clicked the like button. Appreciate that. So more of the same next week. Approaching the first day that someone will substitute will be the 30th of April. And then it'll be the 30th. Let's see, how does that go? The 30th, the 7th of May, the 14th of May, the 21st of May. Yes. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? So Sunday is Jeff. Super welcome. Have a great weekend, Brian. Sunday is Jeff, as mentioned. And then if you scroll up in the perfect answer, Fred. Thank you for that. You scroll up into chat. There's a link for how to sign up for Brooke's offering tomorrow. And I think that's everything. So, and I will. Oh, hey, Deb. You're super, super welcome. Hope all is well in Iowa. And we'll let you go before the top of the hour. How about that? Fantastic. All right, have a great rest of your week, or have an outstanding Thursday if you're in Australia. And I'll see folks on Sunday. And I'll be back in the chat on Sunday. So that's great to hear, Lisa. Thanks for being here. And thanks to Fred for filling in on Sunday. I got to do my first Sunday hockey game on the stat crew, and that was super fun. So, and it was a busy game. So, all right, I'll let you all go, and thanks again.